Hello and welcome, this is eSports Machina, and today I want to talk about League of Legends and the Wildcard Regions and current problems that are really going through due to restrictions and systems put into place by Riot Games themselves. But in order you to understand my point really fully, we have to go a bit back in time to the time period of Season 2 when a lot of the leagues didn't exist. I think only league that existed back then was OGN. And we had two notable tournaments in the Season 2. We had the Season 2 World Championship and IPL 5. And IPL 5, to this day, I and a lot of other people considered it as the best tournament of all time. And these two tournaments had one thing in common that no other tournament after these two had. And that was you didn't have one clear winner to win the tournament. And you look at Season 2 World Championship, for instance. You had Azubu Frost, Moscow 5, CLG Europe, and World Elite. A lot of people believe any of these teams could have won. It's not like Azubu Frost was clearly ahead of the polls. And after Taipei Assassins beat Gambit Gaming, Moscow 5, they were also heavy favorites to win the whole thing. And this really is also the similar case in IPL 5. You had World Elite, Fnatic, Taipei Assassins, Moscow 5, CLG Europe, Azubu Place, even CLG Prime in some instances, or Curse. Any of these teams could have won that whole tournament. That could have been a plausible and non-crazy, prediction to make during those time periods. But ever after since, when LCS, LPL, all these systems were put into place, the predictions have been pretty straightforward. Season 3, SK Telecom win. They were heavy favorites to win the whole thing. Season 4, we had the Samsung White, and then we had SK Telecom again. And it's pretty much been, after that, Koreans winning everything, and then you had EDG winning MSI. But, you look at those tournaments afterwards, and all of those tournaments, it was pretty clear who was going to win. And I think I contribute that into pretty much in the situation because there has been a region lock. And region lock is, it brings stability. That's a good thing. But it doesn't really keep the playing field very even. So usually regions that have the best teams are going to be staying the best because they get to play the best teams all the time. And this goes into our problem of the wildcard regions. So wildcard regions, since of the last IEM season, no wildcard regions were invited to the tournament, which is kind of sad. I wish there was a qualifier system or a better system for IEM, but there really isn't. And so you have only two places where a wildcard team can go. Every other region has actually a chance to go into IEM, but last season, for some reason, LMS didn't get an invite. What the fuck is up with that too? Anyhow, you have MSI and Worlds. But wildcard regions have a very unfair qualification system, for instance. Because the Brazilian team not only has to win their Brazilian regional tournament, then they have to go into another international tournament, which is the wildcard tournament, and they have to win that too. They have to win two tournaments, essentially, in order to get into Worlds. And I think that is the problem right here, where they are getting very unfair advantages compared to the other regions where they get to participate in IEM and they only have to win their regionals to get into Worlds or MSI. Sure, the wildcard regions will get experience by playing in the IVC, the wildcard qualifier tournament, but then again, the wildcard regions are kind of behind us from the major regions, and that's not really the greatest experience. You want to really play the best teams. But the problem is two-sided, really. It's also the organizations like the best teams in Korea, China, Europe, and NA. They don't want to scrim against the wildcard region teams. That is just granted. That is just a fact. Maybe you can some the Russian league players can play against certain challenger teams in Europe or something. But for the most part, a lot of people refuse to play with them. They don't really have an opportunity to buy players from Korea or China or to imports from NA or EU because they don't have the money. A lot of the wildcard regions, except Australia and Japan, have considerably less, like a weaker economic as their country, or also their prize pools for Oceanic and LJL, which is Japanese league, have much lower prize pools. There's no way to really buy that much of good Korean talent for your region. And even if you have the talent, it's not like people will still be suddenly screaming you, or you still will getting the same opportunities. And some people could make the cases, but wildcard regions are shit. We don't want to see them on IEM and MSI. Well, that always will be the case if you never will give them any opportunities to get better. And the current system that we have in place, because they only get to play, the wildcard regions will only play, Brazilians will be only playing against Brazilian teams. So it's not like they will be getting this huge significant upgrade just by internal training. That's not going to happen. That's not going to be efficient enough. And my criticism and my problem with the current system is it's very, very likely that they will always stay at the bottom. They will always stay as shit wildcard regions. And there was a post recently in Reddit, I think it was Dumbledore wanted to play on like LCS. But the problem with him too is nobody will use the, the foreign invite for the team, because you can only have 2 foreign players on your team. Was it 3? No, it's 2. And nobody will use their slots in wildcard region players. That's not going to happen if they have an opportunity to get a Korean or Chinese player. And that is a really sad case. I know a lot of people don't care about the wildcard teams, but I'm really advocating for them, because I think it's the best system would be give opportunities for everybody to become better at the game. And going back to really the Season 2, you have a few examples where Saigon Jokers took a game out of Dignitas in Season 2 World Championship. Also Singapore Sentinels took a game out of Meat Playground, which is an NA team. And if we had the open bracket system, wildcard regions would be performing much better, and well, you had better tournaments and all that, but that's another video. But anyhow, I'm hoping that Riot will be taking wildcard regions more seriously in the future and really try to help them some way. Maybe give them their own type of IEM tournament where they can get better at the game. I don't think the current system is really fair for these regions. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it was insightful for you, and maybe it will broaden your opinion about wildcard regions themselves. And I would like to know if people had any ideas or opinions about the subject. Leave them on the comments below and I will read them and reply to them. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.